A state-of-the-art fitness center, exceptional tennis and pickleball programs, resort-style amenities, and a vibrant social atmosphere. Whether you're pursuing your fitness goals or expanding your social circle, City Club offers an unmatched member experience. Visit cityclubatriverranch.com today. City Club at River Ranch, where lifestyle meets distinction.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend came and went as the 2026 class was inducted in Canton, Ohio. Saints legendary quarterback Drew Brees headlined with Panthers Luke Kuechly, Cardinals Larry Fitzgerald, Colts and Patriots Adam Vinatieri, and 49ers Roger Craig followed. You can see what the weekend had to offer by visiting ESPN Southwest Louisiana's social media pages. The Houston Astros have lost 2 series in a row. This time they dropped 2 out of 3 to the San Diego Padres on the road. That put their record at 60-59 and shrunk the division lead to just half a game. Next up is a road series against the San Francisco Giants, and it begins tonight. First pitch from Oracle Park is scheduled for 8:45, and the action can be heard on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. More bad news on the Saints front in training camp as offensive lineman Dylan Radins tore his ACL in Sunday's practice. This is now the second Saints player in camp to have their season end, the first being Brian Bresee on the first day back. Other players such as Pete Warner and Julian Blackman also went down with other injuries. In the meantime, the Saints also signed former LSU linebacker Deion Jones to a 1-year deal. And Don Nelson, the second winningest coach in NBA history and a Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer, died at the age of 86 on Sunday. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Me oh my crawfish pie. Welcome into a Monday edition of RP3 and Meche. I am the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3. And I'm joined by my fellow sleep-deprived producer extraordinaire, LAB award winner, man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana and Mississippi, and that was confirmed, by the way, this past week in Canton, Ohio. My also road trip partner, James freaking Meche. Good day to you, sir.
Good day, Raymond. We're back in the studio.
Back in the studio. That nap is going to hit so hard for you, Dawson and I, later today. Look, the airlines and the Charlotte airport tried its best not to let us come home, but we found a way. We found a way. Good to be back inside the Beal and Hebert studios here in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Also want to take a moment to thank them yet again for their support and their sponsorship of our trip to Ohio to be there for the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction weekend to see number 9 Drew Brees be enshrined into the Hall of Fame. And appreciate Beal and Hebert helping us out there and being our partner with that. It was great to be there and great to represent the state of Louisiana, which we kept getting complimented for, which I was not prepared for. We have a tremendous show for you today. We got two guests, back-to-back in hour number 2. Kickoff hour number 2, talking to our buddy Fletcher Mackel of WDSU. He was one of the few Louisiana media members there for Canton weekend. We'll get his thoughts on what Drew Brees had to say and the entire induction weekend, get his thoughts on that. Then we're going to talk baseball with our buddy Brett Chansey of the Locked On Astros podcast and about 17 other entities. There's too many for me to remember. Stros got roughed up yesterday. They lost the weekend series. They still are atop the American League West, but things have not been great for the Stros here in the last 5 or 6 days. So we'll talk all things Houston Astros with our good friend Brett Chansey. And that'll be at 12:15, 12:20 or so. So those are the two guests that we got lined up for you today. We are going to make time for your phone calls in hour number 2 as well, around 12:30. We'll want to hear from you because I know many of you are going to want to talk about induction weekend and Drew Brees. We also have audio from number 9, from his induction, from his enshrinement, and we'll also have some other clips to be able to share with you for the other Hall of Famers like Adam Vinatieri, who decided to try out his stand-up routine, which was nice. Larry Fitzgerald, who did not do a stand-up routine. It was just, from the heart. Roger Craig made a huge announcement about his health, which was a bit of an emotional stunner there. And so we'll share that with you this hour. We also have our poll question of the day, which, of course, is Pro Football Hall of Fame related. And, it's going to be a good show. Going to be setting the tone for the week, James Meche, is what we're going to be doing today, sir. Are you prepared?
Oh, yeah. Let's get it done.
Let's get it done. Let's go ahead and jump right in. It's time for today's specials.
The fellas can't help with your lunch plans, but they can serve up the top stories of the day in bite-sized pieces. Time to order up today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street. Order up.
I wonder what our special of the day could be.
I don't think there's a lot going on or that happened this weekend.
How about
Did we go on a trip?
Women's Professional Soccer League here in the United States? What about WNBA? No.
I was going to say, what about the Softball Little League World Series?
No. What about NASCAR? No. What about the PGA Tour? No. Hold on. I'm trying to struggle.
There was a tournament, but...
Nope. Oh, yeah. That's right. Pro Football Hall of Fame. Induction weekend. Where to begin? The museum is so cool. I was worried about that before we left because, the older building, the historic building, the rotunda is small.
The juicer.
Which they made into like a little juicer. But the museum is far more massive than you think it is, or what you see on television. I want to start there first, briefly. I thought the museum was amazing. It tells the story, the true story of professional football from its humble beginnings through mergers, through everything. You learned about the game in pivotal moments in the game, and the way it's presented in the museum is absolutely phenomenal. They have tons of memorabilia, which of course we shared on Facebook via a gallery. So much Louisiana representation there as well. Doug Williams, Washington Redskins helmet, Terry Bradshaw's helmet, plus a Terry Bradshaw fantasy football guide, which I found hilarious. So much memorabilia, jerseys, football, gloves, the whole 9 yards. The museum is state-of-the-art. It is phenomenal. And the best part, that there's a movie theater in there where they get to show you, you get to hear interviews from past Hall of Famers. It was hosted by Joe Namath. It is just majestic. And when you get into the hall with all the busts, you feel it. Like even Dawson and I got to sneak in on Friday before we did the specialty show, the Gold Standard, presented by Bill and Aber. And I got a little bit of a taste. But even when we had to wait for them to install the new bust of the 2026 class, and it was filled to the gills with people, right? Going in all types of different directions. It was absolutely insanity, James. You felt it. Like you wouldn't think, oh, it's just, oh, here's this year's bust and then this year's bust and this year. But like you feel it. Like it was one of those things where you and I couldn't stop taking pictures of like all the people. You know, I took a lot of pictures of, Washington players, and you took pictures of Saints players, and then just I took pictures for my buddies. Like, hey, I sent one to Bonnet of Barry Sanders, and I sent one to Don Shula to Zach, and I sent my brother-in-law a bunch of busts of the Saints players. Like, you just could spend hours in just the room where all the busts are at.
And even throughout the years, as it grows more and more, it kind of just becomes more information that you want to learn. Like you can look at the face and be like, okay, cool, there's the bust. And it'll quickly show like who are all the teams that they played for and what were the years. But just when you go through it, once you see like an Andre Johnson or a Calvin Johnson, or even if you want to look towards like yesteryear and you look towards the older players, Alan Page or Terry Bradshaw, like if you don't know these players' stories, once you see the bust, you're kind of like, okay, well, this was the class of 86 or 1990. You kind of go in and it's like, if you don't know the story of those players and how everything came to be for them to eventually become a Hall of Famer, you kind of become curious. And yeah, you could easily lose time being like, wow, I've spent 2 hours in this museum strictly looking at the bust, and I'm still only learning about 2 or 3 of these players' histories. And there's 387 of them now.
And there's 387 of them. But they have great like digital screens where you can look up any Hall of Famer. You can look them up by their team. You can see what year they were inducted. They have a map to show you where to go in the hall to go find their bust. And then they have a video presentation of each one. It is tremendous. So the museum was great. Despite the heat, I enjoyed the induction day, the actual induction ceremony. It was hot outside. Apparently, we brought the humidity with us from Louisiana, and the people in Ohio thanked us.
Dude, I was baffled at how hot Ohio was. Like, I thought, okay, I could just wear, like, a pullover or
I
wear
told you about the
pants.
shorts, man. I told you.
And I
lived in the Midwest for 6 years. It gets humid there, too. It's different, but
it was surprising. Like, I was like, wow, I really made a mistake.
I thought I thought the presentation was done extremely well. I thought Chris Berman, now a friend of the station, friend of the show.
Yeah, he is.
I thought he does tremendous as always. I love the video presentations. I thought all the Hall of Famers had good things to say. We didn't get to see all of Larry Fitzgerald. There was a bus issue, but I digress. But we got to see the end of it. I thought he did well. Vinatieri was funny, but also heartfelt, especially with his parents.
Yeah.
Roger Craig was emotional, as we kind of expected. Luke Kuechly was as well. And, of course, Drew brought the house down. I thought their presentation was great. I thought the setup was nice because it's inside the actual stadium. I don't know if people realize that when you're watching it on TV, but it's actually set up on the football field. Like they set it up there. So that was cool. Just the vibe from all the Hall of Famers that were there and players that were there. We ran into so many people. Like, I saw the Whistle Monster who was there in attendance. He was taking photos with people.
I believe the Pope was also there.
Yeah, the Saints Pope guy was there. So you expected that. Like, you expected the fans. And, by the way, after early reports of it looked like it was going to be Carolina-centric because of the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, dominating the weekend, Who Dat Nation dominated the weekend. There were so many people from Louisiana. The Saints fans took over. They took over Canton. They were the dominant fan base there. But just meeting the Hall of Famers, whether it was the Gold Jacket presentation on Friday night, where they brought back the most Hall of Famers ever, in one room together, and you got to see all of those guys, which was absolutely amazing. Our guy James Meche, by the way,
I took advantage of that beforehand.
He got pictures taken with Calvin Johnson and Chris Carter and Jerry Rice, and then Aeneas Williams, a Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer and a Pro Football Hall of Famer, recruited him to take videos for him as he interviewed his fellow Hall of Famers, which was a cool moment for our guy Meche.
He's like, you're actually kind of good at this. Can you do more? I was like, sure.
You got recruited to help out a Hall of Famer, which was cool. And that was amazing because that's really the moment. We spoke to so many members, whether it was Kevin Mawai or Willie Rofe on Friday for the specialty show. They said the Friday night thing where they actually get their jacket is the best moment of the weekend. And we're like, really? They're like, yeah. And then we had our friend Rich from the Hall of Fame, the communications director, said, yeah, it's the best part of the weekend is the Friday night thing. And then Chris Berman told us the same thing. And I was like, all right. And that's when you got to meet all of those Hall of Famers. We also met former Carolina Panthers great linebacker Thomas Davis beforehand during the cocktail hour. And everyone was just so chill, like, and accommodating. And we saw over and over again these Hall of Famers taking the time out to see the fans and to take pictures with the fans and to autograph for the fans. Like, everywhere they walked, they're getting bombarded. And it didn't matter. Like, they didn't brush it off. They didn't like, oh, I got to go. My car's waiting. We watched Chris Berman and Willie Rofe sign autographs for 10, 15 minutes after they were on our show and even before they were on our show. Like, it was just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was that. And, of course, we got to meet more Hall of Famers while we were flying out of Cleveland on Sunday. Struck up a conversation in the TSA line with Andre Johnson, which was awesome. James got a picture taken with him. And then Dawson met Bill Polian in the airport as well.
And Burt Kreischer, the comedian.
so it would, but like Canton itself, I said this on the air and I'll say it again. The reason why this works is because it has a very much a small town feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the hospitality, they go kind of above and beyond. Like, this is the biggest weekend of the year for them. They know this. They're getting sheriff's deputies to drive golf carts. They're off duty. Everywhere you went, people were helpful and nice. And, volunteers are everywhere. And the whole town, and even outside of Canton, we stayed in Akron for the time that we were there. They were like, they understand how special this is. And I said it again. It reminded me when I went to Lambeau last year, to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and how the whole town kind of rallies around having the Packers and being really focused on having hospitality to everyone that comes into their town to watch a game there. And it felt the same way, James, in Canton, where they're like, we know why people are here. We're going to make this experience great for them, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, they've absolutely embraced the idea that football was birthed in Canton, Ohio, back in 1920. And I mean, you could even, not even looking at the Hall of Fame itself, the museum or the stadium where they play the Hall of Fame game itself. You can also just look at it where we took a picture of it, but you could kind of look on the highway and all of a sudden you see giant electric towers, the wires, and it's in the shape of a goalpost. And you're like, yeah. We're in football town.
Yeah.
Like, you get those types of signs. And it was kind of crazy because during the Hall of Fame game itself, I didn't really get to watch much of the game. I saw probably like 7 total plays. But for me, kind of going around the stadium and getting a vibe early on Thursday, because we got there on Wednesday, we went to the Guardians game, and I fell asleep during it. Shocker.
I have a photo.
Yeah.
I just fell asleep.
I was like, dude, I'm tired. But Thursday itself at the game, it felt different because not only was I mainly focused trying to find Saints fans for social media content, but just seeing that everyone overall was so excited, and even seeing like there was an Eagles fan, a Packers fan, a Vikings fan, so many like NFC and Cardinals fan. Like, there were so many different NFC teams, and even fans of teams that were like in division rivals, and they were all just kind of chopping it up, having fun, and be like, "You ready for week 7 or whatever?" When our teams duke it out, it's like everybody just had such a good time, and you could tell the vibes were high, and there was no animosity towards anyone. And of course, seeing the Hall of Famers being there and NFL greats that either have made it or have yet to, it was crazy to see. Like everybody just have such a good time and overall show that football season has arrived. Because when you go back to last week's poll question, we asked, when does it feel like football season for you, whether it's the Hall of Fame game or the regular season starts for either high school, college, or NFL?
Being there felt like, okay, it's here.
Yes, and it made my point proven, because I was like, yep, we're officially here, because we're seeing replica rings of Hall of Famers. We're seeing the mascots interact with fans. We're seeing the Tom Benson statue inside the stadium, because obviously it's named after him, the late, great Tom Benson. But the Saints media staff putting the Drew Brees jersey on Tom Benson, and we see it live. Like, just seeing all the signs that happened over there in Canton, Ohio, and meeting big-time players, big-time coaches, people that kind of make up the NFL, it was just awesome to see.
It was awesome to see. We could talk hours upon hours about it, but we got a show to do. So let's go ahead and take a time out here. When we come back, we'll unveil our poll question of the day, which is about the Hall of Fame weekend. We'll unveil that and get to some of your comments next.
Today's specials here on RP3 and Mesh, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street.
Now is a great time to save at Southwest Volkswagen as summer is getting hot. Get the 2026 Volkswagen Atlas for only 0.9 APR for 48 months, or take advantage of $3,500 in customer bonus cash. The Volkswagen Atlas with third-row seating, amazing technology, and one of the most comfortable drives you'll experience. Don't wait. Get down to Southwest Volkswagen today, located at 6184 Johnston Street in Lafayette, or you can give them a call, 337-895-0110 for more details.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm, LSB filing number LA2519684.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, D.C., chiropractic physician.
Injured in a car accident? Confused about what to do next? At Briscoe Chiropractic, we have been treating auto accident injuries for almost 2 decades. We focus on the diagnosing and treatment of injuries related to motor vehicle accidents, providing comprehensive care while documenting your injuries. Even minor accidents can cause injuries that may not show up right away. Ignoring these injuries could lead to chronic pain and long-term issues. At Briscoe Chiropractic, we focus on treating accident-related injuries. Our chiropractic care focuses on realigning your spine and reducing pain and helping your body heal naturally. Don't wait until the pain worsens. Early treatment is key to a full recovery.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091. Briscoe Chiropractic, where recovery is no accident.
One is known far and wide for his luscious head of hair.
We just wash the hair. You know, I work on my hair a long time.
The other wishes he still had his. Back to more RP3 and Meche.
It's time to unveil that poll question of the day. And we asked you on Facebook and on X, did you cry during Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech? That, by far the longest. It was about 26 minutes in length. There's a lot that he hit on, whether it was New Orleans, his family, his coaches, his time with the Chargers, his time with the Saints. He got to it all, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So we asked you on Facebook and on X, did you cry during that speech? As of right now, 58% of you have said yes. Brought out the waterworks. 21% said no. They said, why would I cry? 21% also just didn't watch the speech for whatever reason. For me, I wouldn't say a full-blown cried, but I definitely shed a few tears. It got to me. I mean, Drew is overall my favorite all-time player. Meant so much to me. He was the first quarterback I ended up watching just because first team that I watched of football was the Saints. And, of course, by that time, Drew was out there winning a Super Bowl. So seeing his career, seeing what he did, breaking all the records, and doing it for the team that I root for the most, yeah, it got to me a little bit for sure.
I didn't cry. Not because I didn't find it to be a emotional and moving speech. I'm just not a big crier. And maybe it would be different if Drew played for my team. Probably I'd be more emotionally invested, right? So
I was gonna say I'm willing to bet fair. I'm willing to bet if it was Sean Taylor or like John Riggins, you would have done it.
Well, Sean Taylor would not be able to give his speech because he's dead.
Yes. But thanks for the technicality. Trying to give an example because I know you love Sean Taylor, but all right.
I'm trying to think of all, I probably would have been pretty emotional if I would have been there in person when Art Monk finally got in, right? I mean, so many of the guys that played for the Redskins when I was a kid are in. Darryl Green's in, Art Monk's in, Coach Joe Gibbs is in, Rigo, as you mentioned, is already in. So, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit more emotional about that. I've always wanted Joe Theismann. He's probably never going to get in. The career got cut short. We talked about that on the trip. So, but I'm not going to fault anyone for being upset. I mean, I had people text me that were holding back tears or were crying like babies. I do have a question to ask you, though, before we hit our timeout.
Okay.
There's been some discussion about the fact that Drew, talked about his family, and Drew talked about his high school coach and his college coach and his pastors, and he talked about San Diego Chargers coaches and Saints coaches and owners, and he talked about his San Diego teammates, specifically naming them. Really didn't do that with the Saints.
Yeah, it felt like he could have easily gone with Marcus Colston or Jimmy Graham.
He didn't mention Marcus Colston. He didn't mention Jimmy Graham. He didn't mention his teammates in New Orleans, which was kind of, I didn't notice it in the moment, but then afterwards people were like, Oh, yeah. Like he mentioned LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates. And, he mentioned a couple of the players with the Saints, like backup quarterback Chase Daniel, I think he mentioned. And, they would have those meetings and dinners. And he'd mentioned maybe the offensive line dinners. He mentioned his neighbor. It was a beautiful speech, but as a Saints fan, was it weird that he mentioned more Chargers players than he did Saints players?
Yeah, I didn't think about it in the moment, but it was interesting because I did make a mental note. I was like, it does feel like we're taking a rather large portion of the speech and dedicating it to the Chargers days when, look, I get it was the first team that drafted you, but overall, I understand you love Marty Schottenheimer, but Cat, he benched you 3 times. It was obviously a sour end.
But a sour end, but it led to great things, right? In those benchings, he learned from and became a better player. You take something that's a negative, you always turn it into a positive.
Which he talked about with the excuses.
Correct. I thought it was a beautiful speech, but it was just, and so many of his teammates in attendance there to support him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no Michael Thomas, no Marcus Colston, no Taysom Hill. They were all there.
They were all there.
Malcolm Jenkins was taking pictures during the speech.
But it was interesting.
But the fact that no specific player got a shout-out from the Saints.
Yeah, he made sure to give a shout-out to the city and to the fans and Who Dat Nation.
Yes.
Once again, it was a beautiful speech. I was just interesting. So keep voting on the poll question. A lot of you have already left comments, especially on Facebook and on X and on our YouTube channel, ESPN Southwest Louisiana, so continue to do that. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, how about we hear from the man himself, Drew Brees? That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we got to go fast now.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend came and went as the 2026 class was inducted in Canton, Ohio. Saints legendary quarterback Drew Brees headlined with Panthers Luke Kuechly, Cardinals Larry Fitzgerald, Colts and Patriots Adam Vinatieri, and 49ers Roger Craig followed. You can see what the weekend had to offer by visiting ESPN Southwest Louisiana's social media pages. The Houston Astros have lost 2 series in a row. This time they dropped 2 out of 3 to the San Diego Padres on the road. That put their record at 60-59 and shrunk the division lead to just half a game. Next up is a road series against the San Francisco Giants, and it begins tonight. First pitch from Oracle Park is scheduled for 8:45, and the action can be heard on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. More bad news on the Saints front in training camp as offensive lineman Dylan Radins tore his ACL in Sunday's practice. This is now the second Saints player in camp to have their season end, the first being Brian Bresee on the first day back. Other players such as Pete Warner and Julian Blackman also went down with other injuries. In the meantime, the Saints also signed former LSU linebacker Deion Jones to a 1-year deal. And Don Nelson, the second winningest coach in NBA history and a Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer, died at the age of 86 on Sunday. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Do you need more of the fellas here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station? Of course you do. So go make sure and subscribe to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA. Don't forget to turn that bell on so you get notifications for new episodes of 4 Tire Change Podcast, where Dawson Iserloh talks all things NASCAR, or Cleats and Sneaks with James Meche. Get yourself more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station at ESPN_SWLA on YouTube.
Since 1958, Alamo Glass has been serving Acadiana's glass needs. Alamo Glass does outstanding work on residential windows, custom shower doors, mirrors, custom framing, commercial storefronts, and door repairs. Alamo Glass also carries plexiglass and Lexan. Need a windshield or rock chip repair? Alamo Glass offers free mobile service as well as free estimates on any of your glass projects. Call Alamo Glass, 1220 Bertrand Drive, or call 233-8811. Need glass? Call Alamo Glass.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certification. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Oh, look who's here. Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV. Who told you that? Raymond! America's #1 classic TV network. Nothing even comes close. Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight. We're doing it twice. Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? What is vascular dementia, Lewy body, FTD, TBI, and CTE? If someone has memory loss, does that mean they have dementia? Millions of Americans ask these questions every day. I did too, and I learned. My wife Ginny developed dementia. I didn't know what to do or what was coming next. I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. I'm excited to offer you a free guide to understanding dementia. It's filled with facts about dementia, care planning, how doctors can help, and ways to keep your brain as healthy as possible. The Dementia Society of America is a national nonprofit, and we're ready to answer your questions. You want to live life to the fullest. I know that. Ginny did too, and I'm confident that we can help. Get your copy of the guide. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
You know the routine. Eat, sleep, sports talk, repeat.
Well, up and at 'em. We're here.
Here is more daily sports talk from ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles.
When we bought our home in the heart of uptown New Orleans, Brittany and I could not have been more excited and scared to embark on this new journey and chapter in our lives. As we were moving in, containers of housewarming gifts began to show up at the front door. As I opened the lid to the first container, expecting to see brownies or perhaps chocolate chip cookies, it was rather the smell of butter and onions and Cajun seasoning and a dark brew that made up crawfish etouffee. The next day it was jambalaya, the next it was gumbo. And we're not talking a small container, we're talking a big vat of the best home-cooked Louisiana flavors you could imagine. Welcome to New Orleans. But nothing compares to what we experienced every Monday night during my career in New Orleans. For 15 years straight, and this is no exaggeration, our neighbors, Steve and Kathy Price, would make our family red beans and rice and cornbread. Whether it was their house, our house, or with great friends like Trombone Shorty, it was what we all look forward to together. It was the perfect representation of what New Orleans is all about. It doesn't take you long to realize what makes New Orleans so special. New Orleans has been through a lot, to the point where in some cases the feeling was we may have lost everything. It may never come back the same. Storms teach us that our greatest treasures aren't the things that we own. They're the people we love and the way we show up for one another. It reminds us to hold our loved ones a little closer, to love a little harder, to laugh a little louder, and to never take a single day for granted. Sometimes it takes losing what can be replaced to truly appreciate the things that can. New Orleans, you accepted me, you embraced me, you believed in me, but more importantly, you trusted me with the soul of the city, and I would have died to protect that calling.
Drew Brees during his enshrinement ceremony on Saturday there inside Tom Benson Stadium, right next to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was a marriage that both needed. It was, to use a pun, the perfect storm. After Katrina devastated New Orleans and the greater Gulf Coast, that city, our state, needed something to believe in. And here comes a quarterback with a bum shoulder that no one wants. A rookie head coach that, by the way, had been demoted when he was with the Giants, had his play calling duties stripped when he was with them before bouncing back and landing with the Cowboys. And a front office that was trying to rebuild a roster. And there was Drew. And it just worked. It just worked. It just did. And you can't tell the story of the Saints in this modern era, and you can't tell the story of Drew Brees without Sean Payton. They go hand in hand. And Sean is the one that did the introductory video for Drew's enshrinement. He's the one that unveiled the bronze bust on stage to Drew. And Drew Brees talked about what Sean Payton meant to him.
I miss our dot meetings, Coach. The night before every game, talking through every play, every situation, every matchup in the greatest of detail. I would literally ask Sean, hey, Coach, when do you think you'll call this play? He would squint his eyes and purse his lips. You know that look. Second quarter, across midfield, probably 47-yard line, 2nd and 10, left hash, left middle maybe. They'll never expect it. Precise, instinctive. Coach, you were brilliant. I saw myself as an extension of you on that field. I always had something to prove to you, and I always wanted to make you right. And I know you trusted me, and that allowed us both to be great. You never missed an opportunity to enjoy the moment. You always had a plan and a vision for every player you coached. I'm not sure if this is how you envision my journey or how big a role that you would play in it, but I love you for it. Thank you.
I've said this a few times. I think Drew's retirement kind of broke Sean's spirit a little bit. He stayed on for another year, but Sean was like, this isn't the same. This isn't the same here. And he took a year, stepped away. We all knew he was going to be coaching again, but I understand why he's not coaching in New Orleans. Because he just didn't want to coach in New Orleans anymore without Drew. Plain and simple. And there's a special bond between those two men. And Drew also spoke about moments and memories. And two of the most distinctive memories that he was a part of for Saints fans was the dome-coming game against the Atlanta Falcons where Steve Gleason blocked the punt. And then, of course, winning the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts. And this is what he had to say about those two moments in franchise history.
To the Who Dat Nation. There are a few events in your life where you remember exactly where you were when it occurred. For Saints fans, it is the Steve Gleason block punt on Monday Night Football, reopening the Dome September 25th, 2006. And when the Saints won Super Bowl 44. It was your spirit that allowed us to be special, to smell greatness, and to finish strong.
Those are the two moments that really, really stand out. Now, it wasn't all about Who Dat Nation and Sean Payton and everything, Drew also talked about what it means to be a quarterback. And it's a science and it's an art form at the same time. And while he was doing that, he also gave some love and some respect to one of his fellow inductees, Luke Kuechly.
Bill Parcells described it as the steady hand that steers the ship. Marty Schottenheimer would say there is no position on the field whose performance has greater impact on those around him. Bill Walsh often emphasized that great quarterback play is about making the correct decisions repeatedly. The quarterback is the distributor of hope and confidence, a master of probability, the ultimate problem solver. I've always seen the game of football and the quarterback position as a true art form, like a song or a dance. The key to the art form was controlling the rhythm of the game. Everything had a rhythm, from the articulation of the play in the huddle, to the pre-snap cues and communication, to the cadence and the snap of the ball, to your feet dropping back, the timing and flow of your hitch or your gather, to the 0.3 seconds between your front foot hitting the ground that set off a combustion of energy from the ground force all the way from your toes to your fingertips, as it translates power to the pronation and the spin of the ball as it releases into the atmosphere. That feeling is what I live for. I wish I could say we're stress-free. Quite the contrary. The amount of headspace this occupied in a given week was all-consuming. How can I visualize every eventuality, every possible scenario? What if the defense does this? What if it does that? What if they decide to take this player away? What if they bring that exotic pressure in that crucial situation, Luke Kuechly? But I love the chess match. It was a complex puzzle to solve. Each drive represented a section of that puzzle. If you failed with one, you could log away that information and come back to it later with a different perspective or a different confidence.
It is amazing, like game recognized game kind of situation there. And he's talked a lot about Luke being maybe the smartest player he ever had to play against, defensive player. And Luke, when he got into the stage earlier on the day, Kuechly made sure to give love and respect to number 9, while also making sure, which drew a large chuckle from the audience, his disdain for one of the songs that has become a staple of amping up the crowd inside the Superdome.
Drew, you're the best player that I've ever played against. Your process, anticipation, that dang cadence that you have, I can still hear it, and it's something that I'll keep with me forever. And Coach Payton's right next to him, and if I ever hear that song, Stand Up and Get Crunk, it ruins my mood. I can't stand it.
It sometimes gets old. It gets a little tiring hearing it, right? And some even Saints fans would like it to be retired, but I don't think it's going anywhere now, especially after that moment, James. I'm just saying. Like, I don't think it's happening.
I always enjoyed it, and maybe I just didn't hear it as much as a kid, but I was like, especially after I was like, yeah, I need to hear this.
Yeah, but when you're in the stadium, I need to go hear it all the time.
Oh, well, it's after, it's every touchdown.
Yeah, every time. So it's absolutely phenomenal. Let's head out to the ESPN hotline. Welcome on Reynolds, who's been patiently waiting. What's up, bud? What's on your mind?
Just finishing a round of golf and sweating.
Well, yeah, buddy. Yeah, glad you got it in before midday, though. Woo.
Yeah. I tell you what, two things. Back the block punt in the Superdome, I distinctly remember that day, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I was driving back home, and I remember the time I was coming back from work, I'm turning onto the street, and I was listening, I think, to you. And you were talking about the game with Vic was the quarterback, and you had said, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Saints have zero chance of winning that game.
That would have been that would have been Kevin. I was not on the airwaves at that time. That would have been Footsie probably.
Okay. And I remember thinking, oh man, and then the game happened, and then it was bedlam, you know. The next thing is, I don't understand this. Maybe you could tell me. Why has it taken it this long for Roger Craig to get into the Hall of Fame? He was a beast in San Francisco. Why has it taken it so long? I don't understand it.
I'll give you my thoughts on that. Appreciate the phone call, brother. Thank you. I think Roger was just overshadowed by all the other playmakers there. When people were giving credit to the West Coast offense, they gave credit to Bill Walsh, the architect, the head coach. They gave credit to Joe Montana, the quarterback. They gave credit to Jerry Rice, the wide receiver. They gave credit to Dwight Clark, the wide receiver. Roger was kind of forgotten, right? And he was revolutionary. And he became one of the first real all-purpose running backs, right? The first running back to have 1,000 receiving yards and 1,000 rushing yards in the same season. You can see the blueprint of Roger Craig. Later, that would become guys like Marshall Faulk, right? And now modern days, Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey. Like, all those guys, they come from that. That's where they come from. And I think he got lost in the shuffle a little bit over the years. And then it started circling back that there was this massive appreciation for him where they're like, well, look how revolutionary it was and what he was able to do in the 80s. And, like, he was a key component of those 3 Super Bowl teams for the 49ers. So it was beautiful to see him get his due finally in Canton over the weekend.
Yeah, and I think also at a certain point, there just became such a logjam of the older guys, and it became kind of an emphasis to put in the newer guys as more of a priority.
And that happens, and I'll tell you that. I know we're up against a timeout. As a longtime voter for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, that happens. There's guys that you go, man, they feel like they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and then new players get on there, and those new players may have better numbers or maybe a little bit more accomplishments, so they get put in over the guys that have been waiting longer.
Yeah.
I think that's also what happened with Roger.
So it was just natural logjam, and it was bound to happen, and somebody was bound to have to wait a lot longer than they probably should have, and it just so happened that it was Roger Craig to be the one. But we could have easily had the same conversation about anybody else that would have gotten the short end of the stick, and the other people that are still kind of having the short end of the stick.
Good phone call, though. Good phone call. Got to take a timeout. We'll wrap up hour number 1. We'll get to some of your comments on our poll question of the day. That's next.
This is RP3 and Mesh, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
August 15th is the date for the 12th annual Fête du Teche boat procession down the Bayou Teche. The day begins with Mass en Francais with Bishop Desautels at 8 a.m. at St. Leo's Church in Leonville. The boats then depart for a Eucharistic boat procession ending in St. Martinville. Register your boat today or find out more information at fêteduteche.org or by liking their Facebook page. Don't miss the 12th annual Fête du Teche, Saturday, August 15th.
Let's try something new, like not overloading your outlets. Up next, from Mr. Electric. You know that power strip and your extension cord? They are not a permanent lifestyle choice. You don't have to be afraid to get rid of them if they're damaged. And keep water far away from electricity. And if something sparks, buzzes, or smells like regret, call a professional. Because saving a few bucks is not worth turning your living room into a campfire. Home electrical safety. It's not shocking, unless you ignore it.
If you would like to learn more, visit MrElectric.com.
You're looking for not only a good electrician, but one you can trust. Here's Sean Dorey with Mr. Electric.
Yeah, I love what I do. I love serving our community. It's a pleasure, it really is. Our reviews speak for the passion that I have. You know, we want to do good business. We want to be someone that you can trust to come in to your home.
Call Mr. Electric today or see us on Facebook.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With Meche.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Do yourself a favor and download the free ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app, powered by Moss Motors BMW for your Android or Apple devices. Download the app by searching ESPN 1037 Lafayette or ESPN 1041 Lake Charles. It's just that easy to take Southwest Louisiana's sports station with you wherever you go.
Oh, how about we get to some of the comments that we have on the poll question of the day, James?
Let me tell you, there's no shortage of them, especially when you look on Facebook. But yes, looking at our poll question of the day, we had asked you on Facebook and on X, did you cry during Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech? And let me tell you, overwhelming majority, especially on Facebook when you look at the comments, said yes. Judson said, made me cry and had me ready to run through a wall. Hashtag that's my GOAT, but instead of it being the OA, it's the EAUX and then the T at the end.
Oh, you made it Louisiana.
That was good. A lot of people had said absolutely, yes, sure did. Some people even said like yes multiple times that they cried. There were a few people that ended up saying no or just like didn't get to it. Kai on X actually said that he didn't watch. That was the first one that's the first comment that I had seen that was actually the third option of not watching, which actually has the second highest percentage votes when you look at the poll question at 24%. 57% actually said yes, that they did cry. 19% said no.
There we go. How about some other comments?
I'm trying to find some original ones because, like I said, so many of them say yes. But Chris on Facebook says, didn't cry, but did get choked up a bit. His speech to the audience was by far one of the best ever by any inductee given. So many wonderful memories and great victories after so many years with few wins. He brought real respect to our beloved New Orleans Saints team. And even Pedro said, like a baby, then he said he would have died for our city. Dang, Drew had me using the entire box of tissues.
It's a good speech. It was a good speech. Without doubt. Keep voting on the poll question of the day. It's about, did you get emotional with Drew Brees' speech at the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony over the weekend in Canton, Ohio? Keep leaving your comments on Facebook, X, and on our YouTube channel, ESPN Southwest Louisiana. Also, don't forget to go check out our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page for all the content that we've been posting over the weekend from Canton. We're talking exclusive interviews. We're talking sound bites, videos with fans, and more. So go check it out. Like and subscribe as well. Hour 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 coming up. Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend came and went as the 2026 class was inducted in Canton, Ohio. Saints legendary quarterback Drew Brees headlined with Panthers Luke Kuechly, Cardinals Larry Fitzgerald, Colts and Patriots Adam Vinatieri, and 49ers Roger Craig followed. You can see what the weekend had to offer by visiting ESPN Southwest Louisiana's social media pages. The Houston Astros have lost 2 series in a row. This time they dropped 2 out of 3 to the San Diego Padres on the road. That put their record at 60-59 and shrunk the division lead to just half a game. Next up is a road series against the San Francisco Giants, and it begins tonight. First pitch from Oracle Park is scheduled for 8:45, and the action can be heard on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. More bad news on the Saints front in training camp as offensive lineman Dylan Radins tore his ACL in Sunday's practice. This is now the second Saints player in camp to have their season end, the first being Brian Bresee on the first day back. Other players such as Pete Warner and Julian Blackman also went down with other injuries. In the meantime, the Saints also signed former LSU linebacker Deion Jones to a 1-year deal. And Don Nelson, the second winningest coach in NBA history and a Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer, died at the age of 86 on Sunday. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome into hour number 2 of RP3 and Meche as you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station. Broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. We're hoping hour number 2 is as good as we did in hour number 1. Do want to remind you in about 15 minutes or so, we will talk Houston Astros with our guy, H-Town Wheelhouse, or if you want to go by his government name, Brett Chansey, the host of the Locked On Astros podcast. And we'll even open up the phone lines a little bit later in hour number 2. But if we look back at hour number 1, of course, it had to predominantly do with how everything went down with the Hall of Fame weekend over there in Canton, Ohio. We, of course, were over there, did a live show between myself, RP3, and even Dawson Iserlo D-Lo. It kind of felt like we were doing a reunion of RP3, D-Lo, and Meche. It was a great overall experience. Of course, we also talked about Drew Brees, of course, him being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And to talk about it, we've gave a little bit of our experience, but let's head out to the ESPN hotline to bring on our first guest of today's edition of the show. It's our guy, Fletcher Mackel of WDSU, who was also in Canton over the weekend. Fletch, hopefully you made it back safely. We had a little bit of delays, but overall, nothing too much to complain about. How about yourself?
Yeah, no, same thing. We had a little bit of a delay on our layover in Charlotte, and our equipment bag did not make it back, but it's en route right now, so that's good, especially since it has thousands of dollars worth of equipment from our station in it. So other than that, it was good. I don't know if we can tell the story. I'm sure y'all have told stories, and we'll talk about it, because I thought it was a really great experience. I thought the Hall of Fame people did a great job, helpful. If you're a football fan, I tell people they should go, because it's kind of like the football holy land, if you will. Mm-hmm. It was pretty great. I did think it was fascinating. One of the more fascinating stories was you all getting free T-shirts. Can I go any further? Have you told that story yet, or is that like off limits?
We haven't brought it up. We kind of brushed it over a little bit. We won't go too much into detail, but like you could tell your side of the story and what you had noticed, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, you all were obviously at an event, and the logoing didn't fit. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
With, I guess, certain parties. So you all now have free Raising Cane's T-shirts, because the logoing and branding did not, I guess it was not like copacetic with everybody. So I just thought that was kind of funny when I saw you all and you told me that. I'm like, wait, what? Like, so you got Raising Cane's T-shirts on. So good. There you go. There's a souvenir for somebody's kid or a coworker.
Yeah, and if anything, if I ever want to go to Cane's and just pretend I'm at work and be like, all right, I'm about to go clock in, y'all could hop off. I'll get the night shift. I could easily do that. I think there won't be people will probably look at me and be like, who's this new guy? But like other than that, I don't think there'll be too much of an issue.
Yeah. But again, look, here's the thing. I thought everything. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I'd never covered the Hall of Fame before. Obviously, we don't have that many Saints in the Hall of Fame. But here's the thing. I have been at the station 24 years now. I just had coworkers that went in 2010 for Ricky Jackson, and then I forgot, was it 2019, 18, 19, somewhere around there for Willie Rove. Mm-hmm. And then Morton was during COVID, and then Sam Mills was during the COVID time as well, and it was posthumously, so we didn't go up there for that. But look, I'll say this: I thought, again, the organizers handle it, how everything works. I don't know how Brees got any sleep, because they run those Hall of Fame inductees and Hall of Famers around like crazy from event to event to event. But look, the football history there, the Saints takeover there, Brees' speech. I mean, there were dozens of former players on Saturday that I spoke to there, some that I hadn't seen in years. It was great to catch up with them. But I just thought, look, we got there Wednesday night. We left yesterday afternoon, and it was just from start to stop. It was tremendous. People saw it back here in Louisiana on TV. It was everything and more to actually be there. So I think the people who made the decision to go, it was a smart call on their parts.
Oh yeah, it was 100% a life-changing experience and something that I'm gonna take to my grave. But what I did find interesting, and you brought it up with the Drew Brees thing, I don't know about Larry Fitzgerald or Vinatieri or Roger Craig. I don't know about the rest of the class, but obviously for both of us and everybody that went for specifically Drew and kind of got a peek behind the curtain a little bit, I was baffled. It felt like he very easily should have been tired at one point, but he had a smile and had a great attitude the whole way through, whether you look at the Canes commercial that they filmed for about an hour and a half, the different festivities that he had to go to, whether it was the luncheon, doing the jacket ceremony that felt like it took about 10 days to get through, or even eventually him getting through the speech on Sunday. It felt like he had the greatest attitude, and felt like at any point that he could have easily been like, man, this is frustrating. I wish we could get through the weekend. It feels like it's just nonstop. But for him, this was nothing.
Yeah, and look, this is the one thing. I talked to somebody with the Hall of Fame, because this is the funny thing. So having not gone, they send out this big media packet, the rules, the regulations, when things happen, how it goes. And it's the NFL can be restrictive with some things, like controlling the product, what local media and regional media can do. And so we weren't sure, what are we going to get? How are we going to get stuff? How is it going to work? What are we going to be allowed to cover? And one of the longtime members of the Hall of Fame told me, look, this is our big event once a year. Everybody here is happy. This is a celebration. Everybody wants to be here. As long as you're polite and respectful, you can basically do whatever you want. Don't do anything crazy because we can still enforce the rules, but you can do whatever you want. So I loved our access to Drew Brees, to the other Hall of Famers, covering everything. But, yeah, it was look, Drew Brees was definitely the headliner. He was pulled in a million different directions. And I think he knew this is, and he said this, he addressed this, this was really kind of his official farewell to the Saints in the NFL. Look, I was there for that last game in the Superdome when he lost to Tom Brady in that division round playoff game, and there were 3,700 people in the Superdome. That whole season they had to play without fans because of the pandemic and the restrictions in New Orleans. So it never felt like a real goodbye for the greatest athlete in our city's history. That's why I think the turnout was so big, because of that, because of what he meant to the city, not just athletically, but culturally, at a time when we needed somebody to look up to. And I think he knew that. I think he knew, hey, look, my last year was COVID, and it wasn't a real farewell year, if you will. So he leaned into everything and did everything and was just engaging with everyone. Not to say that he's not, but even more so, because I think this was kind of 5 years later, the official farewell.
What'd you make of just being in the town of Canton? Like, it kind of felt like a real small town vibe, and the fact that this weekend was their big weekend. They felt so complimentary and so nice throughout the whole process. I enjoyed Canton. I absolutely, outside of like the Hall of Fame, I was like, Ohio was a great experience.
Look, I'll say this. People couldn't have been nicer. I mean, like amazingly, like, Midwestern nice. It reminded me of like going to Omaha for the World Series. Everybody was engaging and nice. And so how I would describe Canton, I've been telling people this, and I mean this is a real positive. So Canton, Akron is the Cleveland market. It's just about 1 hour on the nose outside of Cleveland. But it's still the Cleveland market, if you will, for TV and media and newspaper with the plain dealer. They support their teams. It would remind me if Hammond, look, Hammond, America is where, that's in the New Orleans market, but Hammond's an hour from New Orleans. It reminds me of like Hammond or Houma, two like prideful places that have great people that love their community. If they had an event like this, it would be, hey, the birthplace of football is Houma, Louisiana, and everybody goes down the bayou once a year for the Hall of Fame. It kind of reminds me of that. Like you're far enough from Cleveland that Cleveland is its own thing, and Canton, Akron is their own thing. It kind of had a smaller town, like wholesome, look, we covered that parade live on Saturday morning. There was a lot of military appreciation, a lot of classic car collecting groups in there. So you had these cars from the 20s, 30s, and 40s in there. It just kind of felt like a slice of like Norman Rockwell's Americana at some point, watching that parade and driving around Canton. But yeah, it was, it's in the Cleveland market, but it's an hour away. So I kind of equated it to Hammond or Houma having something like this and really embracing it the way Canton did.
We're talking with Fletcher Mackel of WDSU. He joins us here in RP3 Meche. All right, bud, besides Breeze, what was your other favorite moment with one of the other inductees?
Whew, Vinatieri probably just because it was Comedy Central. I mean, the McAfee jokes, the Peyton jokes, the Belichick jokes. Again, look, I'll say this. So I am one of these people, and this is for better and worse sometimes, that I look at work trips as work trips. And, this is an amazing experience. And we all got to experience some cool stuff in the museum, the press conferences, the interviews, the ceremony. But, I always tell people, I am there to work. And I have a lot of friends that came up, and they're like, can you meet us for dinner? Can you meet us for lunch? Do this. And it's like, yeah, here's the thing. I am working, and we are, on live, basically. It just seems like nonstop. So I kind of had a singular focus. So it wasn't like I wasn't paying attention to Larry Fitzgerald, or certainly Roger Craig and what he's dealing with his dementia right now was a very touching moment. The video that they played and seeing him, it was a very touching moment. But really, I was singularly focused on Drew Brees. And to me, as a born and raised New Orleanian, when he hit the New Orleans notes and talked about dying to protect the soul of the city, the sunglasses had to come on, because even I started getting choked up with that one. So to me, trying to pick another moment, I don't know if I have a second, because Brees was, if it was a race to the medal stand, he lapped everybody 5 times over and was the gold medal winner by leaps and bounds. And there were other people there, but to me, they were just kind of like these ancillary little characters, and I wasn't really quite as focused on them, and I think they were overshadowed by everything I was there to do. But I did find Adam Vinatieri extremely funny. I mean, good. He gave some great things about football, but the Comedy Central routine that he put on was pretty hilarious, if you ask me.
Also, by the way, the Whistle Monster was there signing autographs and taking pictures, by the way, with fans in the concession area when Vinatieri was on stage, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, which was kind of just was like, yep, New Orleans and Louisiana's taking over. I'll get you out of here with this. Brees is on the Mount Rushmore, the greatest player in franchise history. And if you put together that Mount Rushmore, you're looking at him and of course, Ricky Jackson, and probably Morton Anderson, Willie Rowe, more than likely. Cam Jordan's probably going to be on there too. And we talked a lot about Cam probably going to be finding his way into Canton down the road. But Jari Evans has been a finalist now, 3 straight years?
Yep.
Offensive lineman, it's weird with the Hall. They make them work harder for whatever reason to get in there. Do you believe that we're going to see Evans be inducted into the Hall of Fame in the next 2 to 3 years?
Maybe. Yeah, I think Jari Evans is a Hall of Famer. I think the one thing that works against him is Drew Brees and Sean Payton getting a lot of the success. Look, Jari's numbers are hard to overlook. One of the greatest offensive guards in league history. He's a Hall of Famer in my mind. But you're right. Offensive linemen are a tough one to gauge how it works. But I do think Jari's going to get in, and I do think Cam's going to get in. Certainly Jari wasn't a first ballot. He may be down the line. It may take years. And I don't know if it's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years, but I do think he's eventually going to get in. And look, Cam, I think, is going to get in too. If the Saints end up in the NFC Championship this year and Cam has 10.5 more sacks, I think he makes a better case for a first ballot. But I don't think he'll be a first ballot either. I think that's pretty fair to say. But I do think Jari and Cam will both get in. Cam whenever he finishes playing, and I do think Jari will get in. But neither one are slam dunks. Obviously, Jari wasn't a first ballot. Cam's not going to be a first ballot. But I do think those guys will absolutely positively be wearing gold jackets, be immortalized in Canton one day. But after that, I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody else in the pipeline after that, but I certainly think Jari will eventually get in, Cam will get in, and those will be, and then Sean Payton, whenever he retires, I think is going to be a Hall of Famer as well, but who knows, again, when that would be.
Fletcher, appreciate your time and your insight, brother. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right, thank you all.
We got to take a timeout. When we come back, our second and final guest on this Monday edition of RP3 and Mesh, Brett Chansey, is going to join us to talk all things Houston Astros. That's next.
This is RP3 and Mesh, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. Do you need more of the fellas here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station? Of course you do. So go make sure and subscribe to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA. Don't forget to turn that bell on so you get notifications for new episodes of Four Tire Change Podcast, where Dawson Iserlo talks all things NASCAR, or Cleats and Sneaks with James Mesh. Get yourself more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station at ESPN_SWLA on YouTube.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one number 1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
One enjoys eating hot dogs and watching baseball. The other loves eating sushi and playing yogurt U-card games. Not sure exactly what that is, but good for him, I guess. Anyway, back to more RP3 and Meche.
The Houston Astros still sit atop the American League West standings, but they've been stumbling here of late in the last couple of series. They haven't looked their best. To talk about it is the man who talks about them all the time, the host of the Locked On Astros podcast. Brett Chansey joins us here. Brett, good day to you, buddy. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. Good to get back into our life, starting to go back to normal, I guess you call it. As I start working a 9 to 5 again, like real world people do.
There it is. There it is. I mean, you only have 18 jobs, so
yeah,
it's okay. What's ailing this team right now in this recent little dip after, seizing control of the American League West and getting above 500?
I mean, it's just a lack. It's just a lack of consistency and the amount of arms that the Astros don't have to go out and put up like, when you look at a rotation, you look at names on a roster sheet, or you look at a bullpen, or you look at starters, you go to certain teams, and you're like, okay, these guys are going to shove, the Spencer Striders, the Max Frieds, the Garrett Coles. I mean, we've got Hunter Brown. The Astros have Hunter Brown, but they just haven't had these names like Wisniewski. He hasn't been there long enough. Javier, what's he going to really be in the end? And so you just have too much uncertainty. You didn't address your needs in the outfield. I mean, Dalton Varsho hits a 2-run home run yesterday. That's great. But you still didn't truly address that need. Now, after the trade deadline, you're like, oh, we're looking at left-handed, or we're looking at right-handed bats. I'm like, I don't understand. If the hands are tied, the hands are tied. If they're not, let's go out and get somebody. And then what happens? the team you're playing freaking goes out and gets Austin Wells when you knew you had interest in him. And, oh, boy, he hits a home run off of you in the last game of the series. I mean, that's just that's what 2026 has been. But you know what? We're in the AL Worst. We're in the AL West, so there's always hope.
Yeah, because it's not as if anyone is seizing control, right? It's not as if anyone is stepping up in a huge way. My question to you, though, is I made the argument that I didn't love what they did at the trade deadline because they didn't go get another arm. And you traded away a bunch of pitchers that maybe weren't very good. They traded away 4 before the deadline, right? Including Spencer Arrighetti, who looked good early in the season, but then didn't look like he had big league stuff anymore. And I get it, but it felt like they were making room to add a pitcher. Imai is a basket case. You've moved him to the bullpen. Javier, I don't know if you're going to be able to get what you need to get out of him, at least not consistently. How much is not getting another starting pitcher going to hurt them?
Oh, I think ultimately a move like that, it could be your undoing in the end. The thing is, you have a perfect opportunity to place your team not just in the playoffs and not just win the division, but to be the number 2 seed. And what does that mean? You get to skip the wild card. What does that mean? You get to preserve what pitchers you do have and go into an ALDS with Hunter Brown and Peter Lambert as your 1 and 2. That is your most optimal mode to go in the playoffs. Now, I know that's still several weeks away, but sometimes you got to make the short-term hard decisions for the long-term effect. And after I saw Austin Wells get picked up by the Padres, I was like, fire Dana Brown. Get rid of him. We can't even go out and get right-handed bats that we need. We obviously didn't even come close to touching the pitching shortage. So you just hope that come September, they get in the playoffs, come October, that they're playing their best baseball and they get on a heater and they surprise the world. I think, RP, this team can go to the ALCS. I don't know if they can go beyond that, but they can get there. But it's like they're making it incredibly hard on themselves, and I don't know what the motivation is.
It is interesting, right? And maybe Dana tried but couldn't, right? And then that leads to bigger problems for them possibly in the offseason. Let's turn the page to this series because they can start getting things back on track. They're taking on a Giants team that is awful. And when I say awful, I mean 20 games under 500, awful. And they're even terrible at home. They're below 500 at home as well. They're at Oracle Park. How fundamentally key is it for the Astros to go in there and maybe not sweep the Giants, but at least win the series?
Well, I thought Sunday's game was a must win. And when I say must win, I use that very loosely. Again, nobody's deciding the playoff seeding, on August 10th, right? But that would have been a solid get out of town. Padres, you just go up the coast a little bit into NorCal, get to the Bay Area, and beat the Giants. I think you can win 2 out of 3 from the Giants. I would think you would be able to sweep the Giants. But teams that are it's the teams over 500 that they don't have problems with. It's the teams that are under 500 that they have issues with. And you saw what happened when the Orioles came to town. That was a series that you absolutely should have won, or at least won, but could have also swept. You just did not. So Jordan has been a little bit of a struggle. Jerry Pena's, cooled down a little bit, but you can't just depend on those 2 guys. And that's why not getting a bat hurts. That's why if you're going to go get a right-handed bat, go get someone with some pop. Go get Jorge Soler. Take a flyer on him. Everyone's like, oh, but he's terrible. You know what, though? He also has a World Series MVP. He's also done it in the clutch. And he's done it against Houston at Dyken Park. The dude loves to hit home runs in Dyken Park. bring him to Houston, give him some pinch hits, let him DH. I don't care. Throw him in left field. Everybody acts like left field is you have to be some like super advanced athlete to play left field. Put him out left field, tell him catch the ball, throw it in. Like, how hard is that? That's where they're at in the season. If they don't go out to San Francisco and take care of things, I'm just like, what are you doing? The Rangers are sputtering. They've won a couple. Now they're within a half game. The Mariners have no intentions of winning anything other than last place. It seems like they're trying to fight for last right now. So, I mean, but you can't let the Rangers get in front of you. I mean, this would add insult to injury.
You hear that, James? He's getting upsetty spaghetti. Our guy Brett. He's not. He's getting a little ramped up. He's getting there. I'll get you out of here with this. Take away the pitching. Is there anything that gives you pause about this lineup moving forward as we, are in the dog days of summer here for Major League Baseball?
Well, I just don't know. I just don't know who. I don't know who Jose Altuve is anymore. He gets on a 4-game, hit streak, and everyone's like, he's back. And I'm like, no, he's not back. He's still taking terrible at bats. He's still rolling over, hitting ground balls in the infield. I don't know if he just needs a confidence. That's why bring out Jorge Soler in. Bring someone with the power bat. Bring somebody. And Jorge Soler, the first home run you hit, I want you to bat flip. I wanted to make SportsCenter's top 10 bat flips ever. Like, I want you to make noise. I mean, do what you got to do. Guys crowd the plate, freaking plunk some people. I mean, do something to show that you've got fight. Do something. Cam Smith is starting to heat up. I want Cam Smith to take a leadership role in this team. Jeremy Pena needs to step back up again. And I just, what gives me pause is this team's seemingly just frustrating inability to consistently put it together. If they could consistently put it together, I mean, go on a 6 or 7 game winning streak. That doesn't cure all, but that right there gives you the mindset that, you know what, we can do this. Go out there, win 6 or 7 games in a row, get on a legit win streak, and give yourself breathing room so that your bullpen can breathe, so that your starters can breathe. You can take the pressure off those guys.
Brett, appreciate your time as always, buddy. Enjoy being back on the grind there in the classroom. We'll talk to you next week, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Y'all have a good one. And as always, go Stros. Always positive, always Stros.
We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to get to some more of your comments there for our poll question of the day. We got some more audio to play for you as well, including an emotional reveal by Roger Craig about a diagnosis about his health. We're going to play that for you next.
This is RP3 and Mesh live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The annual Fête du Teche boat procession will be floating down the Bayou Teche on August 15th. Thousands of people come every year to celebrate their faith and Louisiana heritage. The day will begin with a mass by Bishop J. Douglas Desautels at St. Leo's Catholic Church in Leonville before the dozens of boats depart along the Bayou Teche to St. Martinville, retracing the voyage of the Acadians over 250 years ago. There are many stops along the way for people to pray and give public witness to their faith. For more information, visit fetedutech.org.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend came and went as the 2026 class was inducted in Canton, Ohio. Saints legendary quarterback Drew Brees headlined with Panthers Luke Kuechly, Cardinals Larry Fitzgerald, Colts and Patriots Adam Vinatieri, and 49ers Roger Craig followed. You can see what the weekend had to offer by visiting ESPN Southwest Louisiana's social media pages. The Houston Astros have lost 2 series in a row. This time they dropped 2 out of 3 to the San Diego Padres on the road. That put their record at 60-59 and shrunk the division lead to just half a game. Next up is a road series against the San Francisco Giants, and it begins tonight. First pitch from Oracle Park is scheduled for 8:45, and the action can be heard on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. More bad news on the Saints front in training camp as offensive lineman Dylan Radins tore his ACL in Sunday's practice. This is now the second Saints player in camp to have their season end, the first being Brian Bresee on the first day back. Other players such as Pete Warner and Julian Blackman also went down with other injuries. In the meantime, the Saints also signed former LSU linebacker Deion Jones to a one-year deal. And Don Nelson, the second winningest coach in NBA history and a Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer, died at the age of 86 on Sunday. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Do you need more of the fellas here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station? Of course you do. So go make sure and subscribe to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA. Don't forget to turn that bell on so you get notifications for new episodes of Four Tire Change Podcast, where Dawson Iserlo talks all things NASCAR, or Cleats and Sneaks with James Meche. Get yourself more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station at ESPN_SWLA on YouTube.
The best businesses aren't just businesses, they're neighbors. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino. They have the newest games around. Hot seat drawings and monthly specials like no one else. Located on the Bro Bridge Highway and on the banks of the Vermilion River. Come out today and try your luck at the Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local, certified South Louisiana.
BB's Auto Sales has been serving Acadiana since 1966. Cleanest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Need financing? No problem. BB's offers easy financing for all credit types, including in-house financing. Plus, they're paying top dollar for your trade. Voted top 3 dealership in Community Choice Awards 2 years in a row. Visit BB's Auto Sales, 2 convenient locations off Johnston Street and in Abbeville. BB'sAutoSales.com. Cleanest cars in Acadiana.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
There's another chapter I want to share. I've been diagnosed with vascular dementia that my doctors believe may be related, at least in part, to the concussions I experienced during my career. The changes were gradual. At first, they were easy to dismiss as normal aging. Over time, my family noticed it too, and ultimately, led us to seek answers from my doctor. Two things can be true. Football gave me opportunities beyond anything I could imagine. It helped shape the man I became. At the same time, we know more today about brain health than when I played. And I hope sharing my story encourages people to pay attention to their health and seek help when something doesn't feel right. I want people to know this diagnosis doesn't define me. I am still Roger Craig. I am still a father, a husband, a teammate, a friend, and someone who loves this game and the people who brought it to my life. If sharing my story helps even one family or one former player, then it's worth it. Football gave me everything: opportunity, discipline, lifelong friends, and a platform to grow as a man. This honor belongs to my parents, who started it all. It belongs to my wife, Vanessa, my children and grandchildren, and it belongs to every coach, teammate, and fan who was a part of this journey. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this game, grateful for the people it brought into my life, and grateful I can stand before you today and call this journey a blessing. Thank you.
Dawson and I were literally having a conversation out on the main area, the seating area for the induction. James was close to the stage, but Dawson and I were a little bit further back, and we were watching. And when they announced that Roger was going to have his speech be done via video, Dawson and I looked at each other and go, uh-oh. And Dawson even asked, he goes, does he have health problems? And I said, I don't think so. And I even did an impromptu Google search, and it said, no, nothing's wrong. And Roger made the decision to reveal that he has the onset of dementia during his Hall of Fame speech. That hits. If you've ever had anyone that's dealt with dementia, it's tough, man. And this goes beyond, you know, I joke all the time when we're on the airwaves together about, you know, I'm not going to give credit to any one of my rivals' teams, and I get all that. And we make a good joke about that, but this is different. Like, this isn't, oh, I'm going to be petty and, you know, not applaud someone's speech because they played for a rival team. This is a man who is telling the world that he is dealing with something that's eventually going to take him away. It's going to take him away from his family. He's going to forget who he is. He's going to forget his wife, his parents, his children, his grandchildren. Like, that hits on another level, man. And for him to be able to do that during his Hall of Fame thing, and he was very candid. You heard it right there. You know, he doesn't know if, you know, could a football have led to it? Sure. Is that a for certainty? Doesn't know, but he wants to encourage everyone not to be scared about their health. And he wants to encourage everyone not to be afraid. If you think something's wrong, go get checked. Put your pride aside, put your ego aside, put your manhood, whatever, and go figure out if something's wrong. And as beautiful as Drew's speech was, for me, like the emotion of hearing Roger right there talk about his disease and encouraging everyone to don't wait to get checked out for things. I thought that was the emotional home run, if you will, of the weekend.
Yeah, because listening to it again and also listening to it live, it also got to me. And I'm sure you could hear my voice right now, but I also have a current family member dealing with dementia, and it's definitely affected us. So hearing Roger also reveal that he has dementia, Like, I really feel for his family, and it definitely, like, made me have a real appreciation, even though obviously I didn't watch him play, but just seeing how it went down. And yeah, when he decided to do it as a video speech instead of him doing it live, I realized, oh,
you're like, uh-oh.
Something's happening. I don't know what.
Because he was there. Like, he was present. Like, he was there the whole
He had his
weekend.
son. He had his best friend, Jay Williams, who was classmate, teammate with him since elementary school.
And he was up there on stage, and they came out with the bus, but he just, in a multitude of reasons, anyone that's had a loved one that's dealt with dementia, and both James and I have, he obviously knew, I don't want to chance this. Like, he seemed to be very locked in the whole weekend, right? But he's probably thinking leading up to it, James, what if I have a bad day? What if I have a bad day on that Saturday and I can't remember Joe Montana and I can't remember Bill Walsh and I forget their names? Like, so he wanted to honor his teammates and the organizations that he worked for. He wanted to honor his parents and his family. And I thought that was an amazing, a truly amazing a moment, and a real emotional moment for a guy that neither James or I rooted for. He was a
49er. It's like
he was a 49er. That was absolutely amazing.
And especially because I had a different angle from y'all on Friday night, watching when they unveiled all the Hall of Famers, and we saw Roger Craig.
He went second, right?
Yeah,
or second or third.
Yeah, like he was. Drew was first, but like Roger was soon after. But when I saw his smile, I thought, okay, maybe that was just like the sigh of relief smile of like, I finally made it, and I'm gonna enjoy the moment. But now looking back on it in my mind and kind of taking that mental picture, seeing Roger smile kind of had a different meaning, because it's like he needs to take it in before he forgets it.
And it also makes a lot of sense. Typically you have teammates that come back to support you, but a lot of the heavy hitters, because there were heavy hitters that weren't there this weekend. Like
there
Dan Marino, John Elway,
really,
Terry Bradshaw, Deion Sanders. There were some bigger names that weren't there. Ray Lewis wasn't there for whatever reason.
And I was wondering why there were so many 49ers.
But their guy was going in, but Montana was there, and the owner was there, and Jerry Rice was there, and Charles Haley was there.
Ronnie Lott
was there. Like, there was a lot of guys there, so that makes a lot of sense. Now, on the flip side of that, it's not to say that Adam Vinatieri didn't have some nice, poignant, emotional things to say about his family in particular, and in particular his father, right? But he also used the opportunity to have fun. And it brought a great balance to induction Saturday, because you had all this emotional stuff with Roger Craig and with Drew Brees, and with Larry. But you also had a guy that went up there, and it just so happened to be the kicker that went up there and kind of lightened the mood a little bit and made some jokes. And here is Adam Vinatieri, a compilation of jokes about his teammates and his coaches.
I would repeat those last few statements about Coach Bill Belichick as well. Thank you for demanding excellence every single day. Your preparation, discipline, and attention to detail shaped far more than my football career. Unfortunately, Bill couldn't make it here today. There's a lot going on at UNC right now. He may be on a recruiting trip right now looking for the next Lawrence Taylor. I thought it was because training camp had already started, but in truth, it's because he's judging his girlfriend's cheerleading competition. All jokes aside, in my opinion, Bill is the greatest coach of all time. To every coach, trainer, equipment manager, strength coach, nutritionist, front office member, security guard, ball boy, doctor, every person behind the scenes, thank you. Championship organizations aren't built by stars. They're built by people whose names rarely make headlines. Except maybe one ball boy? I'll wait for it. Go ahead. Yeah. I was lucky enough to play with the greatest quarterback in Patriot history. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it here today. Drew Bledsoe. I had a few more Tom Brady jokes, but I was afraid that he'd run up on the stage and maybe give me a Will Smith like he did to Logan Paul last month. And Peyton, thank you for generously donating your forehead for today's teleprompter. A gigantic forehead means a big brain, and your football IQ is unmatched, buddy.
And there was one or two more, but we decided appropriately we probably shouldn't play it. But if you've heard the speech or know about it, you know about the Pat McAfee joke as well.
Yeah. So Vinatieri had
a fun time.
He did. He had a very fun time. We got to take a time out. When we come back, we're going to give you an update on the poll question of the day and wrap up this Monday edition of RP3 and Mesh. That's next.
This is RP3 and Mesh live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
With storm season having arrived, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, and Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley bring you these hurricane safety tips. Make sure to secure home and bring in outdoor items before the storm makes landfall. Have an emergency kit stocked with water, food, and medications. Know your evacuation routes and listen to local authorities. Stay informed with a battery-powered radio and make sure you have fresh batteries. Remember, safety is in your hands. These hurricane preparedness tips are powered by Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then Contact Us tab or 337-519-3563.
Imagine a place where wellness, luxury, and community come together. Welcome to City Club at River Ranch, Acadiana's premier private club. Enjoy a state-of-the-art fitness center, exceptional tennis and pickleball programs, resort-style amenities, and a vibrant social atmosphere. Whether you're pursuing your fitness goals or expanding your social circle, City Club offers an unmatched member experience. Visit cityclubatriverranch.com today. City Club at River Ranch, where lifestyle meets distinction.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, chiropractic physician.
Hello, I'm Dr. Quentin Briscoe. Veterans, are you struggling with chronic back pain, neck issues, or reduced mobility? You're not alone, and you have options. Chiropractic care is part of your VA health benefits, and at Briscoe Chiropractic, we specialize in non-surgical, drug-free solutions to help manage your pain and improve your well-being. We are proud to work with the VA Community Care Network. Let us help you regain your mobility and enjoy the active life you deserve. In addition to the VA Community Care Network, we are also in network with Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Aetna. We accept motor vehicle accidents and workman's comp cases.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091, because your spine deserves expert care.
Are you looking for an eye expert? Well, visit Acadiana Optics in Broussard, locally owned, founded, and operated by Broussard native Dr. Lindsay Dugas. From comprehensive eye exams for glasses and contacts to diabetic exams, pediatric eye care, emergency eye care, cataract and LASIK evaluations, Acadiana Optics provides family eye care for all vision needs. Enjoy state-of-the-art technology, designer frame selections, prescription Maui Jim sunglasses, and custom glasses and contacts. Acadiana Optics in Broussard. Call today to schedule your appointment.
Go check out our YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA for the latest episodes of Cleats and Sneaks with James Meche and 4 Tire Change with Dawson Iserloh and much more. That's ESPN, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station on YouTube.
Oh, let's thank our guest. How about Fletcher Mackel, WDSU, giving us his thoughts on Pro Football Hall of Fame induction weekend. He was there in Canton with us. Appreciate his time. And, of course, Brett Chansey of the Locked On Astros talking about the Stros struggling here in the last, handful of days, but they can get back on track, start winning games again, and they can start that tonight in San Francisco as they open up a 3-game series against the Giants. Of course, we'll have that game for you live right here on ESPN Southwest Louisiana Sports Station. James, while we have some time, can we give an update on the poll question of the day and maybe get to any comments that we haven't had a chance to get to? You guys have been great with this poll question. You've flooded us with comments left and right and anywhere and everywhere in between, and we appreciate you for that. So let's share some of them if we can.
Yes. Did you cry during Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech? Again, 58% of you have said yes. 17% said no. 25% said that they just didn't watch or listen to the Hall of Fame speech, but that's fine. Ralph says yes, but not as much as I cried when I saw that horrendous rendering of his bust.
We haven't had even a chance to
Yeah,
touch
we
on
haven't
that
even
today.
talked, because, Ray, you took a side profile of the bust when we went into the Hall of Fame.
It
and,
looks like Drew from the
side.
profile, from the side.
Yes.
But when you turn around and look at it face on, you go, who is that?
It
It's
doesn't-
weird.
Yeah, it's not quite him. It looks like a guy. It looks like the actor that would portray Drew Brees in a Drew Brees movie, but it's not Drew Brees. You can tell, you're like, it's not quite him. I kind of see where you were going with it, but
no, it's
definitely
it's not- it's
definitely
not
should have
like
done a lot better on it. JBK says yes, but only because I was thinking about my favorite Saints running back duo from my childhood as well. Thunder and Lightning was version 1.0. JBK's ready for version 5.0 that features in 34 days, of course, talking about Travis Etienne Jr. and Alvin Kamara. Now, look, and we continue to just get comments. We have 288 of them on Facebook. I don't know if you've realized that.
That's a lot, bud.
Yeah, that's a lot. So obviously I can't get through all of them. And that's why I summarized it earlier. And like I said, a lot of people said yes or absolutely, yes indeed, heck yeah, still crying. No, but my eyes were sweating. so overall, yes, a lot of people said for sure. Dwayne said, yes, I did. Drew did everything to New Orleans at a time of his arrival. God sent him on a mission, and he completed to be the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm trying to ad-lib because sentence isn't totally there, but he even talked about how he once met Drew and that he's a great guy. Jeff said, no, he didn't watch it or cry, or he at least didn't cry, but he said when he saw the bust, he was kind of like, ooh, that's not quite it. But overall, yes, overwhelming majority of people said yes, they cried.
There you go. Keep those votes coming. Keep leaving your comments on Facebook and on X and on our YouTube channel, ESPN Southwest Louisiana. And once again, we took a lot of content over our time there in Canton, Ohio. We had the specialty show, the Gold Standard, which myself and D'Lo and James, we all hosted for you, and it was brought to you by Beal and Aber. Once again, thanks to them. But it was more than that. We have interviews on both Facebook and on our YouTube channel with fans about their favorite Drew Brees memories. We have more Drew Brees clips on there. We have tons of content, stuff from the Raising Cane's event that took place on Friday. Friday morning. There in Canton as well. So go check out our Facebook page. Go check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it all. Like it. Watch it. And enjoy. We were there, and we're just sharing all of that with all of you back here that weren't able to go to Canton and to witness all of the amazing things that happened during the induction weekend for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back on the airwaves again with you tomorrow, 11 to 1. But until then, be safe out there. Be kind to one another. The Lowdown with D'Lo is next.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason, moisture. Roaches, termites, and ants are drawn to damp areas. Check